Guys, I've been in the industry for the last 7.5 years. I've spent millions of dollars on ads, and the only truly scalable thing that I found that can scale the company long term is not the best performing ad, and not the best performing audience, and not waiting for the account to warm up. What made our campaigns truly scalable was. Alright guys, so let's start, I guess, with the basics, yet one of the most important things to scaling up the e-com based business. The first topic that we'll be covering is sales funnel optimization and how to properly optimize it regardless of the industry that you're in. First and foremost, sales funnel, to simplify it, is just basically the overall journey of your customer. Now, how do you optimize it? Any possible action that you can do as a marketer and or a business owner to optimize your sales funnel is something that improves your conversion rate. It could be a conversion rate of people clicking through your ad, so a larger percentage of people are clicking through. It could be a conversion rate of people actually turning from middle of the funnel to your customers, so your Shopify conversion rate, and so on and so forth. The best place to start when it comes down to full funnel optimization, it has to be the offer optimization. Now, this is just Alex Hormozy all the way. You need to repackage your offer to make it look as valuable and irresistible to your clients as possible. And you're also trying to make it unique, so you would not be comparable based on value and or price with your competitors, and thus you would not be starting the race to the bottom where you just decrease the prices all the time. Now, the first thing that I hear from my clients is, well, Sam, I have a physical product. There's only so much that I can change. And if I was to change something, it would take anywhere from 6 to 12 months and would bring in a lot of complications to the overall operations. That's why at the start we mentioned that we're not changing the product itself, we are repackaging the offer. The best way to think about what can be done to optimize your offer is you start with analyzing what is the most valuable thing to your customers. It doesn't have to be related to your product, but that valuable thing has to define your customer. So for example, if you have migraine glasses and you only sell that, well, there are lots of valuable things that your ideal customer would love to receive from you or anyone else. For example, an overall guide on how to manage my diet to decrease and or manage migraines, as well as any other possible products, whether pharmaceuticals or not pharmaceutical, to help me solve my main issue. Let's go into a simpler example. Let's go to fitness services. So let's say if you are a fitness studio and you're selling the dream, other than just selling the trainings, you obviously can sell supplements, which is a huge portion of the revenue for most of the gyms, but you can also add personalization as well as the accountability programs into your training sessions. Now, the ideal way to look for that something valuable is to find a couple of topics and or subjects that your ideal customer is actively looking for, and then find the ones that have the highest perceived likelihood from your customer base, from your ideal target, and yet has the lowest cost of delivery for you. It could be another physical product that you source through a partner and or affiliate. It could be a course, it could be an info product, it could be a lead magnet, it could be a useful tool, depending on your business overall. Now, the proper way to optimize your offer is to look at your offer the same way you look at your ads. If you run ads on Meta, you're aiming to test out at least 6 or 7 different variations of ads per month, ideally 20 plus, right? Well, look at the offer in the same way. However, it is much more expensive for you to test out an offer. That's why the suggested number of offer tests that I have for my clients is anywhere from 3 to 4 offers. Now, to properly test out the offer, you need to obviously repackage it, and we'll cover it in a bit more depth in just a second. But basically, the main actionables that your team will have to do is create a unique landing page for that offer, create a unique ad for that offer, ideally using the same structure that your current best performing ad has, but then adding on different parts to it to cover your new offer or your new repackaged offer test. And then depending on your overall sales funnel that is performing best for you right now, you may need to update and or improve your welcome series flows for the emails, but it's not a necessity. Again, it does depend on the product and or service that you offer. But basically, in terms of actionables to optimize the funnel, It's you need to increase your ad spend to make sure that it's been allocated properly. The suggested ad spend is you take your target cost per acquisition, you multiply it by at least 2.5. That's your targeted daily spend to test out one offer. And then you run those tests for at least 14 days with doing minimal optimization within the first 7 days, and then increasing the rate of optimizations on your ad accounts for the following 7 days. Okay, so let's say we've completely covered the actionables part of this overall strategy, right? The next valuable question that you might have for me is, well, Sam, it's all good and great, but I have no fucking idea how I could actually repackage my offer. My first advice is just go read Alex Hormozi's books. You will get at least 80% of the answers from the master. Now, what I've been trying to do in the last maybe 2.5 years is take the concepts that he covers there, and then transfer them into the e-com world, because he does focus a bit more on the service-based businesses. And as I mentioned, one of the main struggles is when you sell a service-based product, right? For example, I sell my service as a marketer, or I sell a gym membership, or it's a nail salon. Well, it is comparatively simple to mix up the product and change it up based on the personnel that you hire and so on and so forth. However, if you're an e-com based brand that sells an actual physical product, right? Well, there's only so much that you can do when it comes down to the production of this product, and you already have comparatively thin margins versus the service-based businesses, right? So it's anywhere from 15 to 35 profit margins on average. If you're at the 45% profit margins, give me a shout. I would like to work with you. I'm just kidding. But if you are at the 45% profit margins and you're selling good, well, you just scale as fast as possible. Well, regardless, stepping back into the point, what can a brand that has a physical product do to effectively A/B test the offer? The truth is that there is no simple solution, because it is completely dependent on your industry. What I will try to do right now is I will cover a couple of different industries that my clients are in and the type of offers that work best for them, at least so far. And just for your context, we tested on average 3 to 7 different offers before we found our winner. And even after we found that winner, we still keep on testing. And it's, again, the same concept that you use for A/B tests of your meta ads, or even for organic content creation for your social pages. You just produce as much as possible, you use data to make decisions, and then you just continue on to allocate spend to the best performers and turn off the worst performers. Well, again, coming back to the main topic, what can be done? It starts with the actual value that can be delivered to your clients. And this is the most important point, not the value that you think your clients want, because you might be wrong, and most probably you are in 50% of the cases. You need to find the things that your customers, your ideal customers, are actively searching for. How can you do that? Many ways. I would start with interviewing your best customers. So you go to your Shopify or you go to your CRM, you pull down all your best customers regarding the lifetime value and the average order value in the last 12 months. You call them up yourself and you ask valuable questions, just trying to understand what was that most important thing for them when it came down to your product and or your business. Now, from there, you'll be able to identify at least 2 or 3 main value points that are currently being received by your customers. The first thing you want to do is ask yourself, can we increase that value without changing the product? This is number one. Number two, can we branch off this value? Let's take the most extreme example in terms of difficulty, or one of the most extreme examples. One of my favorite clients, let's say I'm selling high quality e-scooters where I have to compete with the giants such as Segway, where it's a competitive market and the product costs are extremely high. And for me to make any iterations to the product, it takes months and sometimes even years, lots of logistical issues, compliance issues, lots of liability, and so on and so forth, right? Well, what can we do there to improve the offering? Well, obviously you start with making sure that your scooters are as good as possible, because if you want to compete with the giants of the world, if you want to compete with Starbucks, right, you want to make sure that your single or double placed coffee shop is as unique and as exciting to your ideal customers as possible. And most probably you are going after a slightly different target market, which is, so you enter the luxury products type of niche, right? But after that, well, what else can I do? Well, let's say, well, the truth is that if an individual spends $3, $4, $5,000 on an e-scooter, it means that they're obviously not purchasing it out of necessity or to save money, which are one of the main selling points for Segway. They're purchasing it because of the feeling that they get when they ride the scooter. Well, what can I do as a marketer to repackage my offer in a way where that feeling could be enhanced? We can start with simple stuff. So for example, I ride scooters to work every day. So if I add on really cool pair of glasses that look slick, they look premium, but more importantly, they're just comfortable for me. So, and now the cold wind is not blowing at my face, and I'm not wearing some kind of weird looking glasses for skiing. This small, simple thing would be an acceleration and improvement of my overall experience. I can add on these type of things. Winter tires, additional batteries, even merch could perform extremely well. It's just a question of how you implement it and how you position it in front of the clients. Quick follow-up question you might have is, well, Sam, I don't really feel like sourcing glasses and or helmets and or e-scooter locks and so on and so forth. We understand the concept of upsells. It's not our core business right now. Understand completely. My suggestion here is look for affiliate partners with truly high quality products where you could sell their products at a discounted price, because as an affiliate, you will get a discount. It's zero additions in terms of the complexity of your operations, but now you have so many more products to work with when it comes down to the positioning. So for example, if you're in the full control of the pricing for the new product that you're about to release, and you are working on packaging a couple of different offers, what you could do is you could add on an additional $100, let's say, to the price of the scooter, but then give out the really cool premium glasses that all the people, all of your target audience knows are extremely expensive for free as a limited type promotion. Now you see the amount of money that you will gain, the amount of revenue will stay the same. So instead of saying, let's say the scooter costs $2,000, instead you say that the scooter costs $2,100 and you get the glasses for free. Now in here, the value, the process stayed the same, but the perceived value in the eyes of your client increased drastically. Now, the second step that you do is you make sure this is a limited time offer and you add on both scarcity and urgency. Now, scarcity is the matter of units, urgency is a matter of time. So you put a clock on this limited deal saying it will only be available for the next 10 days, and then it will only be available for the first 100 customers, for the first 1,000 customers, depending on your overall demand. Once it's over, it is over. And please, regardless if it performed extremely well, do not extend it. End it when you said you're going to end it. Build trust with your audience. The next step is you look at the data, you wait out, you have a decrease in revenue for the next 7 days for which you are prepared for, and then you do a second release of the same offer, but you brand it a little bit differently. Or you launch a new offer if the offer previous to that hasn't performed that well for you. So just to summarize, the main points that I've just highlighted is you start the process of offer optimization with finding the highest valuable points for your customers. And the second step is to play around with the perceived value of that offer. For example, the free glasses. Again, depending on the product, there could be so many different applications to it, but it's just one small example. Then you put a timer on the offer, increasing the urgency, and then you put a limit on the number of units that you're allowed to sell, put in a pressure on scarcity. You use all four of them at the same time, and you will be golden, in my point of view. If you were to use this structure and you were to test 3 offers per month like this, the possibility of you to find an offer that works extremely well for you is there. Guys, I've been in the industry for the last 7.5 years. I've spent millions of dollars on ads, and the only truly scalable thing that I found that can scale the company long term is not the best performing ad, and not the best performing audience, and not waiting for the account to warm up. What made our campaigns truly scalable was a killer offer, a truly killer offer. As Alex Hermosi says, an offer that people feel stupid saying no to. And for us to get that offer, we need to test it rigorously and carefully. Now, while we're still on the topic of offer optimization, which is the first main step in optimizing your funnel, second main step is optimizing your landing page and your ads. Third main step is optimizing your email follow-up flows. Let's go through a couple of more examples. Let me just pull up a couple of my clients. Obviously, I will not tell you the names, but I will tell you the industry and the business structure that they have. Pet food industry in the US and in Canada, but mostly in the US. Extremely successful business for the last 15 years. Powerful in retail, just entered D2C world, meaning fully e-com sales around 12 months ago. And we started working with them around 9 months ago. Now, as you may know, the CPMs for pet food brands are extremely high. Like on average, it ranges from like $200 to $400 per 1,000 impressions reached, which is just stupidly high. Now, even if your click-through rates are standard at 2%, even 3%, your cost per link click is still extremely high. Basically, for the first 2.5 months, it was a battle for us. Like the CPMs were high, we were barely getting any people to the website, the traffic quality wasn't that great, and so on and so forth. And basically, we've tested, I think, a total of like 7 offers for these guys. And on the 7th time, the offer that we came up with just destroyed. Now, the first crazy thing is the offer decreased CPMs by 3x. So currently, our average CPMs are anywhere from like $40 to $70 on average. And there have been times where our CPM was as low as $25. For anyone who is at least slightly aware what is happening in the pet food industry, this is crazy numbers. Our click-through rate was at 3%, while the ads were just okay, in my opinion. They weren't incredible ads. They were just regular ones. Well, what happened there? What was the offer structure? Because in pet food industry, obviously, you're selling, mainly one type of product, which is pet food. Now, there could be treats, there could be main food, there could be hydration snacks, and so on and so forth. But it's one product, and there's only so much you can do to change what is inside of the box. And we haven't changed anything what's inside of the box, but we started the creation of bundles. Now, what we did was we created a sampler pack where people will get a specific number of samplers from different types of product lines that we had for extremely low price. I think we priced it at like $8. Then they would have to pay for shipping additional $7. And then on the back end, as they were going through the funnel, there were 2 layers of extremely aggressive upsells that helped us to increase our average order value, if I'm not mistaken, to around $20, $25. Now, this is not great. We were just getting 2x ROAS. However, the main business model there is the retention. So the main question was, for most of the pet food brands that we work with, is can we get net new clients, getting a slight profit, and then retain them for the next 3 years? And that's where majority of our revenue will come into. And we're able to successfully do that. We had a huge decrease in our CPMs, increase in CTRs. Our conversion rate for this offer is 7%. For the pet food brands in the e-com world, the conversion rate of 7% is just unbelievably beautiful. So basically what we did for these guys is we created scarcity and urgency. So we don't run this offer 24/7, 7 days a week for the whole month, for the whole year. We run it for a couple of weeks, then we pause, then we run it again. When we pause, then we run it again. And every time when we restart, we rebrand this offer just a little bit. Like the actual value equation is the same, but the way we name it, the way we make a design changes slightly. So it's easily perceived by our ideal customer. This is number 1. Number 2 is a clear financial decision. When you just look at the prices and you're like, well, it is 2 times cheaper than most of the sampler packs. And so many brands don't even offer sample packs. Of course, I'll buy it. I'll try it out. I don't mind. Now, we've been highlighting the health aspect of the pet food as much as possible because that's what we focus on, because that's where we found the most value for our customers. So our whole ad, our whole landing page was focusing on how clean and life nourishing our products are, and they actually help your dogs and or your cats overall quality of life, right? Then we made the entry as simple as possible, which is, you just pay, almost a couple of bucks. Now we pay extra for shipping to make sure that our average order value is higher. For your context, in the past, that sampler pack would cost, I think, $15 or something, and then zero shipping. Now we flipped it where we decreased the front end price and we had shipping on the back end, plus we had upsells to increase the average order value. And it turned out to actually generate a larger average order value for us, but the conversion rate now is at 7% instead of like the average, I think 1.2, 1.3 they were getting before that, right? We haven't changed the product, but we repackaged it and restructured it in a way where the value is perceived much better by our clients. Now, the second beautiful example is, think about the well-used concept of 7-day free trial for software, but you do it for a physical product. Now, it's a bit harder to implement technically, right? But most of the products already have a 30-day money-back guarantee. But our customers have heard the phrase 30-day money-back guaranteed too many times. It stopped meaning anything to it, even though it's a huge de-risking offer, right? We're saying, look, you have zero chances to make a mistake because within first 30 days, you can return the product. Well, one of the small changes to the offer that you can do is you get the product right now, you put in your credit card information, but you will only be billed in 7 days. So you have 7 days to just, cancel the subscription, right? Or cancel this overall process. In terms of the risk value in here, it's actually worse than 30-day money back guarantee, right? 7-day free trial of the product, of a physical product, but it's unheard of. So when I look at it, it sounds extremely, extremely interesting to me. And I can actually understand like the value where I have, as a consumer, I have zero risk here. So for me to pull the trigger here is much, much easier. Now, for this specific offer, what you need to care about is the quality of that audience. Thus, in this specific scenario, I would not suggest to advertise this offer in your ads, but only highlight it on your landing page. This way you'll get high quality traffic that are coming from the ads where they're actually interested in your product, not just your offer. But then on the landing page, the conversion rate increases drastically because of these offers. Now, for the subscription-based, e-com-based businesses, this is the way to go, because you don't just increase your conversion rate, and by increasing your conversion rate, decrease your cost per acquisition at the same time. You also get people to subscribe right away. So again, there are so many different options. Go read Alex Hormoz's $100 million offers book. He gives a lot of examples there, and the main meat of the strategy is there. I'm just the messenger, basically, and a translator for the ecom world. But if you think that this topic was valuable, the best thing that you can do is go read that book. It will change your life. I promise you that. And if you're a service-based business, what are you doing still not knowing about that information? It's a fucking roadmap. Just go ahead, do it right now, like, period.